Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Sunday services at Center for Spiritual Living, Denver. We are a loving and prospering community in the heart of Denver and online. We now conduct hybrid services, continuing our transmissions online weekly, as well as meeting in person on the first and third Sunday of each month at the historic Grant Avenue Community Center and Sacred Place, located at 216 South Grant Street, Denver, Colorado. All are welcomed here. A place, space, and face of love. We are a spiritual community practicing universal principles that enrich our lives. We are grateful that you have blessed us with your presence. While online, we'd love to know you're watching with us. Feel free to leave a comment and let everyone appreciate you. With everything going on, life can feel overwhelming. CSL Denver wants you to know we are here for you. Please know that our practitioners are available for personal prayer work. Our licensed spiritual practitioners' names and phone numbers are available on our website at csldenver.org. Or if you have a prayer request, feel free to email it to info@csldenver.org. For your convenience, you'll find clickable links in the description of this broadcast. Rev. Elzia, along with all our guest speakers, practitioners, service coordinators, and musical inspirations, want you to know how truly grateful we are that you are with us today. Thank you for your continued support and participation in our services, workshops, and events, as well as providing financial contributions to our center. If you're interested in upcoming events and information, we send out weekly newsletters. Sign up by visiting www.csldenver.org. Presently, on the first and third Sundays of every month, we deliver services in a hybrid format where we meet in person at 216 South Grant Street. We will also continue to live stream all services on Facebook and YouTube every Sunday. Find us on our respective channels as well as on New Thought Media Network. At the conclusion of our service, we welcome you to connect and fellowship. Join us in person on the appropriate Sundays or on Zoom every week. If this will be your first time joining us online, please send an email to info@csldenver.org with fellowship in the subject line. We'll reply with the Zoom link. Again, thank you for your precious attention. Now prepare for engaging enlightenment.
Presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this
Hello to this beautiful morning. I'm Bill Carlton. I'm a practitioner here at CSL Denver Church. I invite you to be with me and close your eyes, take a deep breath, and release all the negative emotions. And just be present in this beautiful world. We feel that oneness of God surrounding all of us involved in this service and those who are watching. Allow us to be in gratitude for our power of balance of all of our emotions, pluses and minuses. I acknowledge and give thanks to all that has brought us here in this moment. I release these words to the universe, knowing that they return to us tenfold. Ernest Holmes stated, "There is this question, however, which naturally arises. Why all the suffering, sorrow, and pain? Why has tragedy accompanied the journey of man?" Again, our imagination may answer this question in a somewhat plausible manner. There is no other way through which true identity can evolve. Man must be let alone to discover himself, else be compelled arbitrarily to follow one road, in which case he would be an automation and not an individual. Since Living Without Fear, page 40. For many families can visit and be at a time of recreation and renewal as people gather with family and friends, with expectations of shared love, laughter, and lots of home-cooked favorites. For others, the mere thought of returning to home can evoke a hodgepodge of negative emotions, including sadness, shame, anxiety, and anger. No fear can remain where faith holds sway. Faith reunites us with the original creative spirit, the divine mind, which already exists at the center of our beings. This is Holmes and the thing called life, page 26. Just be present in this moment. And now, more music from Jami Lula.
Good morning, CSL Denver. My name is Jami Lula. For those of you that don't know me, I am so grateful to be celebrating with you, Reverend Z, all the ministers, practitioners from your community. It's been a while since we've gathered. I look forward to gathering in person with you soon. Thank you for having me. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Mm, mm. From a red bud on my favorite rose bush to the smile on her grandmother's face, to the dew on a single blade of grass I keep seeing in the smallest ways. From the hoot of an old horned owl to the laughter of children that play, to the first whistle passing my son's lips I keep hearing in the smallest ways. When I pay such close attention, there's no judgment in my life. There's only love in the smallest ways. In the smallest ways. From the birth of my only baby to the song that I sung full of grace, to the loss of a mentor not meant to be mine, I keep feeling in the smallest ways. From a breath of night blooming jasmine to your scent permeating my days, I can call to mind what I can't find. I keep feeling in the smallest ways. When I pay such close attention, there's no judgment in my life. There's only love in the smallest ways. In the smallest ways. In the smallest ways. Ooh. From the light of your sweetest kisses to the tear that I stole from your face, and gelato we shared on the boulevard, I keep falling in the smallest ways. When I give in to sweet surrender, and I know that God is in this place, there's only love in the smallest ways. In the smallest ways I keep seeing. In the smallest ways I keep hearing. In the smallest ways I keep feeling. In the smallest ways I keep breathing. In the smallest ways I keep falling. In the smallest ways.
Oh, thank you, Jami. Thank you for that beautiful rendition of the smallest ways, because that is where we are right now, in the small things of our heart. So good morning and welcome, CSL Denver. This is a place, a space, and a face of love, a spiritual community teaching universal principles and applying them to our lives so that we can be empowered, enriched, as well as others. Now, today, we're going to continue this monthly theme that we have of home in wonder, living everyday wonder in home. Now, we're in the Thanksgiving holiday season. I'm saying Thanksgiving because it's first. We already had Halloween. So we're going to pass that one, and we're going to step right into Thanksgiving, right? And so Thanksgiving is this time where we give thanks, right? And so today's topic is taking that word home, because I would imagine a lot of us are planning to travel home, or some of us may already be home, or we expecting someone to come home. And so today we're going to look at this word home and put it as a acronym, if you will, which stands for Healing Opportunities Manifesting Everywhere. Healing opportunities manifest everywhere. Now, most of us, when we think about Thanksgiving and going home, we think about this idea of connecting and creating and renewal and resting. There's lots of food, there's laughter, there's music. If you have kids, they're maybe making the turkeys out of pine cones. Like that's what we did in the South. We get turkeys and construction paper and we'd make turkeys out of pine cones. But there was this time of activity, this time of connecting and reconnecting. However, for some of us, there may be a tremendous fear of going home because of many different reasons. Home was not a safe place, or home was somewhere that there was an environment that did not support who you were. So that's why we come up with this opportunity to use healing opportunities manifesting everywhere. Home. Now, in the beginning of this series, we talked about the Wizard of Oz, and we had this statement that Dorothy so profoundly proclaimed: there is no place like home. There is no place like home. But sometimes there needs to be a healing. And sometimes, in fact, all the times, as Dorothy is told, you can go home at any time. All you need to do is click your heels 3 times. That's healing, healing, and more healing. Because the place of home, the place of being in a secure place, or the place where we go and renew ourselves, is always in a period of Thanksgiving. It's always Thanksgiving when we look at the opportunities we have to reconcile differences, to move forward in our lives. Now, when I look at this, the first slide that I have created here for everyone to just ponder, it says this by Marianne Williamson: in every community, and that means the community of family, there was work to be done. In every nation, there are wounds to be healed. In every heart, there is the power to do so. There is the power to do so. So when we go home and we look at these opportunities for healing, which is just another way of saying giving thanks, because we know no matter what life presents us with, it's an opportunity for us to unfold, for us to forgive, to us to think. And Dr. Holmes says this. He said, there is no process of healing, but there is a process in healing. There is a process in healing. And so what is that process? That process is realizing the truth. That process is waking up to an idea that everything within us provides everything we need for a homecoming, a place to heal, a place to give thanks, a place to rejoice, a place to reconnect. And most importantly, I think, is a place to shed joy. Because after we've healed, there's joy. I'm sure anybody that's had a cold right now in this new winter, fall season, I know here in Colorado, there's this respiratory thing going around, and it has an effect of joy when you can wake up and you don't have those symptoms anymore. An opportunity for healing. Because everything we need in this evolutionary journey of life already exists within us and around us. When we live in faith that life is conspiring on our behalf. That life is conspiring on our behalf. Life reconciles by leading us to the resources we need, people we need, and the places we need to bring about the highest and best to heal, to make us whole, to give us an opportunity to rejoice. So faith is that thing that happens when we are in the place of gratitude, when we're in a good place where all things are working together for the good of God. That healing opportunity. That healing opportunity. And what are some of the things, or primarily, what is the one thing that keeps us from healing in this way, this way of reconnecting, this way of rejoicing, of giving thanks? I would submit it's fear. However you want to describe it, whether it's anger, whether it's resentment, whether it's judgment, those are all synonyms in my mind for fear. It's the time when we give up faith. When we give up faith, we step into fear. Now, somebody might say, well, those are both beliefs. So they might be fleeting, someone would say. But I would submit this. I would say faith is this time where we move in places where we're unsure, where we have certain expectations that don't manifest, or we think won't manifest, because most of us step into fear and the thing hasn't even occurred. I'm afraid of height. Well, I've never been on a mountain. Well, I have. I'm in Colorado, so I guess I'm stretching it a little bit there. But this idea of unrealistic expectations is what fear is. And what faith is stepping into this place we just talked about. This place where we know everything present is working for our good, no matter how it looks. And so faith is that idea of knowing that there is a truth, that there is a presence unseen that manifests. You know, in our teachings, we use the seed, soil, plant emblem all the time. And when you plant a seed, the faith within that seed to grow is unseen. You look at a seed, you just see a seed, right? And if you're looking at a citrus plant, unless you're really, really good, you don't know if that seed is an orange seed or a lemon seed or a grapefruit seed. But the faith within the seed allows it to overcome all the fear of trying to figure out, am I a lemon? Am I a lime? All that stuff goes away. There's an opportunity for healing within that seed to manifest itself. And that's what we have to do every day. That's what Thanksgiving is about, I believe. So when we return home, the place where we can feel like we belong and the place where we can have conversation. Now, that might get tricky at Thanksgiving, you know, because most people say, well, when we sit down for dinner, there's two things we can't talk about. Everybody know what they are. I don't have to tell you, but I'm going to say it anyway. That is politics and religion. But I would submit that you know, given a healing opportunity, those may be things that we want to talk about. Those may be things that we need to reconcile, because we can be assured, just like the sun, they are not going anywhere. They're going to be here. And if we look at our lives and the way we are moving in today, a lot of our healing wounds, if you will, comes from religion or someone's interpretation or someone's idea of putting upon you their religion or their political ideas. But if we believe in a healing moment is always present, if we believe that we can release the fear and we can talk and reconnect and rejoice in the idea of sharing, then we can be healed. We can move beyond anything that we ever thought. So in this next slide, we want to talk about this idea of faith and fear. So it says, no fear can remain where faith holds sway. Faith unites us with the original creative spirit, the divine mind, which already exists at the center of our being. That already exists at the center of our being. So the question becomes, I'd say, are we ready to give up the fear and step into the faith, which is already there? Fear is grafted. When a child is born, they only learn fear from the parents. They see the parents jump when the TV cut on and it was off, they hear a loud sound, they jump. That's not a natural thing that's in a child, fear. There is a spirit of love. There's a spirit of observation. There's a spirit of being open to everything which is God everywhere present. But as we are taught by our parents, they do the best they can. I did the best I could too. Sometimes I question, but I did. I tried. I need to check in with my kids to see if I was okay. But I tried very hard not to pass on my biases, my judgments to them. I tried to allow them to live in that spirit of gratitude. And when they had this place where they stepped into fear, I tried to allow them to come to me. Like we should go to God. Not that I'm God, but I guess to a kid, a parent might be seen as a God. But we have to go to the spirit that is within, that is connected to the bigger source that is outside, to have these healing moments. Healing moments are not healing a physical sickness. There's also mental sicknesses and emotional sicknesses and spiritual sicknesses. And so when we look at that, we want to look at how do we navigate this healing path to overcome healings? How do we navigate that? And what do we do to live life fully? So to do that, we go back to Dorothy. We go back to Dorothy where it says, there is no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like a healing opportunity. And the one thing you find out at the end of The Wizard of Oz, Glinda tells Dorothy and Toto, we can't forget Toto. Toto got to get home too. She says, you had the power within you to go home at any time during this process. When you met the Scarecrow and you were looking at fear, you could have went home. When you met the Tin Man and you were frozen in fear. When you met the lion who was afraid again, you could have went home. All you have to do is tap into that spirit that's within and heal that moment and move forward. So how do we do that? How do we take these steps and click our heels 3 times to move beyond the point of no return? So I want to present 3 things that represents these 3 heel clicks for us to have these healing moments. And the first one is, there's power in the spoken word. There's power in the spoken word. Now, we've heard that, but how many of us believe that? How many of us have tried that? How many of us have had a fearful thought and we speak power to that idea and move it forward? How many times have we allowed a feeling within ourselves to just cripple us, to get us paralyzed in one place? And all we have to say is there's power in the spoken word, and that word is God. That word is spirit. That word is motivation. That word is inspiration. That word is taking the first step in a difficult journey. And whether you say it to yourself or say it out loud, the vibrational feeling of that emotion tone, of that word, allows you to move forward. So there's power in the spoken word. And so that is a tool that we can use to awaken our consciousness, to connect us to all things. So don't forget the power of your word, especially during Thanksgiving. And that is using that word to give thanks, using that word to share joy, using that word to replace things that are not conducive for our unfolding into our greatness to something that does. And so once we've gotten used to the power of the spoken word, and we're moving in this way of healing, of moving back home, the second thing we need to do is rekindle our faith. And now this next slide, I really think kind of captures that, where it says that spirit is in every living thing. It is in every soul, latent. That's an important word there, latent, simply waiting to be brought forth and come through the avenue we express. It is to bring out these great realities of life and happiness, health, love, and power to supply these things that make life worthwhile. That's what faith does. We have to rekindle that. We have to rekindle the spirit that is in everything. How many times have you felt down or you felt out of sort and someone just came up and gave you a smile? Your whole spirit changed. Even if you fought it, don't smile at me. I want to be mad. I want to be stuck in this place. Even if you felt that way, the spirit changes. The spirit moves because there's that inherent spirit of healing, of reconnecting that is in everything. It is in the sunrise. It is in Toto trying to find his way home as well. It is in the flowers in the fields as they walk the yellow brick road. That faith that reconnects us to our divine purpose, to our divine knowing, is what we're doing in this going home, in this healing opportunity. And that's what Thanksgiving, at least for this year, if we don't want to take it next year as the theme, we can move to something else. But for this year, given where we've come from, let's take this idea of Thanksgiving to go home and heal. Whether it's a physical healing, a mental healing, or spiritual healing. But we know that the power and presence of God is there. And the way we can do that is facing our fears. Running will not save you. It is the mind that needs to flip the switch. Run wherever I go, my mind is right there with me. So I need to change my mind by using the power of my words. And now the third thing, which is all encompassing as far as I'm concerned, and this next slide I think makes it perfectly clear, and that is embrace gratitude. In all things, give thanks. In all things, give thanks. Do not allow yourself to be fooled by appearances, to be hoodwinked by not giving gratitude for the good things, so-called, or the bad things, so-called. Because inherently in a thing, the good or bad is only placed on it by your thought to it. How many people have stood in the rain and one person just screams because they just had their hair done, they spent a lot of money, and they are very upset. But there's another person standing right next to them that says, oh boy, this rain is much needed, refreshes my soul, grows the plants, whatever it might be. So this idea of good and bad, we have to really begin to understand that gratitude is at the heart of all of it, because it gives us an opportunity to see God everywhere present. To know that there's a spirit within us that in any moment, in any circumstances, can make us realize God and give us the opportunity to rejoice. Because I would submit that everyone here and everyone listening online has had a moment where something they thought that was terribly, terribly bad turned out to be something terribly, terribly good. Right? Because I know I have, and that's just the way life is, because God has not intended something to be good or bad. God has said it is. And when you put yourself in a certain relationship to it, or you connect to it a certain way, it allows you to express joy or to express fear. And so let us ask ourselves, what is our capacity for gratitude, for thanksgiving, forgiveness? Thanksgiving. I'm giving thanks for everything within my life, everything that has happened, no exceptions. In all things, give thanks. And so when we can move with these tools to go home for Thanksgiving, of there's power in the spoken word. Rekindle your faith. Step into the stillness, step into the silence. Read a good book. Walk in the snow if you're in Colorado, although snow is melting right now. But anything that will give you the opportunity to go within. And when you do that, life will be renewed. Life will be a Thanksgiving. And so as we move into this Thanksgiving holiday, as always, we have to have a call to action at the end of the service, because we're not here just to talk. I mean, that's great. But the thing is to change our lives. The thing is to have tools and principles and practices that allow us to grow beyond the fear and to be able to give thanks. So if we look at the call to actions for this week, there are two of them. The first one is, where are you stuck in fear? Where are you stuck in fear? And then once you figured that out, of course, there's a follow-up that says, what can you do to replace fear with faith? What can you do, even if it's just a millimeter, to move that needle from fear to faith? And then the second thing is, if you don't have a gratitude practice, start one. And if you have one, increase your practice. That's whether you have a gratitude journal, whether you have a gratitude meditation, whether you have a gratitude affirmation, whatever it is to allow you to tap into the goodness of God, do that and be grateful. And so as we step into this week and look at these call to actions, we want to use this affirmation to anchor that in our hearts that says, I am grateful for all of life's journey. I'm grateful for all of life's journey. I don't pick and choose life. Life is. I embrace it all. And so as we step on this journey of Thanksgiving, of moving home, finding opportunities to heal, let's do so with an open mind and a loving heart. Let us pray. Dear God, that power, that presence that is awakened by the word, that is the word, that was the word and always will be the word, and that word is love. That word is forgiveness. That word is thanksgiving. Because we know as we move through this time of the year, this holiday season, as we call it, we know that everyone looks at it differently. Everyone approaches it differently. But at the core of all of it, we know God is at the center, operating, healing, moving, sustaining, reconnecting us with the spirit of life itself, so that we can be healed, so that we can be whole, so that we can be on purpose. And so I know right here, right now, for everyone that's here and everyone that's online, and that anyone that may hear this message later, I know that we are amping up our gratitude. When we say the grace at this Thanksgiving dinner, we will say grace for all things that have allowed us to move to a higher level of consciousness, that allow us to be home, because there may be so many of us that won't be there for Thanksgiving. And so I just want to accentuate the idea of love and reconnecting and joy this holiday season, so that when we go home, we look for every opportunity to heal physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, so that we can stand in the power and presence that we are, and that is a representative of the divine mind of God on earth. And so it is in that representation of the divine that I give thanks. I give thanks for this moment, for this opportunity, for this understanding of who and what each and every one of us are. And so with that, I just release, I let go, and I know that this is absolutely so, and so it is. Amen. And one thing I want to mention is the unfortunate shooting that happened to our neighbors down in Colorado Springs. Someone went into a dance club last night here, and unfortunately 5 people have lost their lives and 18 people are in a hospital. And so they're still sorting out the details, but really the details don't matter. Innocent lives have been lost. People have been injured. And so let's keep them in our hearts and minds and their families during this Thanksgiving time, because that is a way that we can contribute into that Thanksgiving of their families and be there with them in this time of sorrow. So as we step into the time of the offertory, I would like to thank everyone for their time, treasure, and talent that they provide to CSL Dinner. I just want to say there is no place in my whole being that I can say thank you enough. So thank you for supporting us with your time, treasure, and talents. Whether this is your first time or your 100th time of joining our community, we want to thank you for your financial support. And so if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the many different ways you can give, whether it's through text or whether you mail to our P.O. box or whether you go online to our website at www.csldenver.org and press the donate button. Please do so, because we know that your contributions are beneficial to healing. And so if it's comfortable and you feel at ease with it, place your hand over your heart and repeat our affirmation as it rolls across the bottom of the screen. This perfect gift is form, circulating and blessing all that it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive, and so it is. Amen. Peace and blessings.
We are also so very excited to see some new faces and returning faces. Thank you all so much. And Suzanne's been down in Mexico the past couple of weeks, so she came back to us today in the snow and cold. So anyway, we will be having our virtual fellowship. We've been trying it, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But so that's why we think you all really ought to just come and be live with us to fellowship and hug and share some coffee and goodies and all that. Also, if you would like to hear some good news of the world to offset some of this stuff that's going on, we have a link on our Facebook page called And Now the Good News. This program is put together by New Thought Media Network and airs on Fridays at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, or you can watch it anytime during the week. So just go to the Center for Spiritual Living Denver Facebook page and click on the post that says And Now the Good News. And also, just so you all know, New Thought Media Network has well over 40 hours of weekly broadcast programs, including prayer time at 8:15 a.m. and p.m. every day, which Reverend Elzia sometimes does. And then also on Saturday mornings, is it 9 a.m. Mountain? They usually do a kind of a lecture, of an hour lecture on just different, they started out with the Science of Mind textbook and then have kind of branched out from there. So you can do that. Wisdom of the Mystics and your Doula for Grief, along with New Thought Media Radio. So meanwhile, we hope you have a wonderful week, and we're closing in on the end of 2022. We're rolling down here. So just know that right here and right now, 2022 is blessed and perfect in all that it is. And we love you, and just know that all is well, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And let's close out with Michael Gott and I Release and I Let Go.
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go. Gotta let it go. You gotta let it all go. And this is what you have to say.